has a show opening at Laura Schlesinger Gallery. Laura is also here. Oh, here's Laura. Opens November 2nd, Saturday, 4:30 to 7 o'clock is the opening. Show runs through December 30th. Is that correct? And it's going to be a great show. And so let's all welcome Mark Stock.
First of all, thank you all for coming. I mean, I know LA traffic to get here, coming from many areas down here, so I appreciate it very much. I want to thank John and Kim for having this and having me here and doing this once a month. I'm so proud to be a part of that. Also, Alex, our barbecue guy. Thank you, Alex. Yeah. And our AV guy, Homie, doing all this for us. Homie, thank you very much. Appreciate it. When I was driving down here, I drove a U-Haul for all my work the other day. I was thinking about my work. I was thinking about the content of the body, mostly the body of my main work. I've done, as all artists, we've done different series, but the main body of my work is narration, narrative paintings of people. I was thinking, God, I painted people, depressed people looking for love, rejected people, suicidal people, peeping Toms I've painted. And then I realized they were all me. So, what's that? I'm going to go back here real quick before I show an image. Education, so important, right? For artists, for all of us. First grade, Montgomery, Alabama, 1958, 57. I'm in first grade. So excited to be in first grade. And back then I was drawing, doing bulletin stuff. Well, I failed first grade because I couldn't read. I could not read. I was dyslexic, and they didn't know how to deal with that. But the teacher, ready to fail me, told me, Mark, if you go to second grade, no one's here to do the artwork. Can you stick around another year? And so she made me an artist. Then, you're an artist. I said, I am an artist. Yeah, I'm an artist. So it began very early, is all I'm trying to say. It was very important to have that kind of reinforcement from my first grade teacher. One of my early drawings, I learned to draw with ebony pencil. From my brother Tom, he used to draw with ebony pencil. I used to stare at and watch him, and I said, I want to be like my brother. 1971 drawing titled The Bad Dream. Just a simple rendering of a boy who just watered a plant and gets a surprise. 1976, I studied, by the way, I went to school at the University of South Florida, studied printmaking. I was a printmaker, serious printmaking, lithography, etchings. That was my education as an artist, not painting. And I was hired to come to LA in 1976, and I printed at Gemini. And here's a photo of, looks like a rock group, but this is, here we are, Tony Zapata on the left, Ed Henderson next to him, myself, and the great Serge Lozengo, the great French printer that June Wayne brought over from France. Anyway, there were only four of us, and I printed there. It was great, printing for Johns, Hockney, Lichtenstein. Yeah, that was a pure, great education in itself. As the announcement that was sent out in the email talked about, I was going to do my first performance was in a graveyard. It said something about that. It wasn't so much an art performance, but when I was 8 years old, coming home from school in Texas, where I lived, I came across a cemetery. And I thought it would be nice to bring home a tombstone. And I dug up a tombstone and brought it home to my mother. This painting was done many years later. So at the time, this is one of my first paintings. It's kind of a still life, in a sense. Another still life titled Red Gladiolus, and of course it's just the shadow. So these are just early paintings I was doing at the time. Real quickly, I was in because of my printmaking, I got collected by the Brooklyn Museum, some of my suites of prints. And Gene Barrow at the time, passed away by now, he was the curator, and he said, Mark, I'd like to put you in a black and white drawing show. And I said, wow, really? American drawings in black and white, 1980 to 1990. I said, I'm going to be. Sure enough, they picked a drawing. It happened to be a self-portrait of all things. I gave them 3 drawings. They picked a self-portrait. Not great. I went to the opening. I was so excited, Brooklyn Museum. And there's Warhol, all the great American artists with black and white drawings, 1 each. I get home to LA. I'm all excited. I got the phone rings. Did you see the New York Times, Mark? I said, what? They reproduced your piece in the New York Times. Brooklyn Museum, Mark Stock. What? Well, life changed immediately. Herschel Nadler signed me up in New York, came out, 3-year contract. I had a stipend, money coming in every month. I hit it big, but the problem was I wasn't ready for it. You know, I wasn't even painting properly at that time. The reason I tell you this is that it all crashed. I had a 3-year contract. My work changed. I started painting, by the way, my studio downtown LA, which I loved, but it had no windows. You had the skylights, but there was no windows to look out of. 10 years in this studio with mosquitoes, because there was a produce company right below me. So they're hitting water and the mosquitoes, the heat, but it was a great room. That's the living room. I started doing Zeppelin paintings, and Herschel Nadler hated them. So they ended the contract. I hit bottom. I had no money. I was living in this loft. I was lonely. I was suicidal. All the whole things I told you earlier. And I said, I got to find work. I got to find a pay the rent. And I had a friend that worked in the Scenic, Hollywood. I said, I'll do anything. They hired me. I said, thank goodness. Okay, one of my first jobs. We want you to report at Raleigh Studios at 7 in the morning on Tuesday. I said, okay, I'll be there. And I had to bring a bucket with my brush and a spray gun. And I had no car. I was so broke. I got on a bus all the way in. I get to Hollywood. I bing, I get off, and I Chaplin. And I'm walking. I entered the Raleigh Studios. There's a soundstage, 26. They said 29, 27, 28. There's 29. I walk in the soundstage. I go, nobody's there except I see one figure. I say, hello, hello, hello. The guy goes, he goes, are you the painter? The painter? The painter? I said, yeah. He goes, come over here, come on. I sit down. I said, well, what do you got for me? He goes, we need you to paint. See the tape? Paint the floor black. That's all we need. And I thought, I was with Herschel Nadler like last year. But anyway, the thing is that another shot of me in my studio, a painting, one of the early figurative paintings I did with the Zeppelins. But you can see it's kind of lonely. Look how lonely that is, man. There's no furniture. But it was a great loft. I mean, I was painting these. Dan McCleary visited me. I met Dan McCleary and I said, you're painting the figure? I need to paint the figure. So he was sort of my inspiration to start painting the figure. Now you see a little more decoration. I put some curtains up and learned to ride the unicycle.
I'm sorry, is that you on the unicycle?
That's me, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I rode all around Gorky's, all around there all the time.
Gorky's,
Yeah, back in those days, yeah.
Still right?
No. About this time, I was studying modern dance and ballet also, and I started meeting choreographers and composers and started designing sets for, this was for Rudy Perez, Dance Ensemble, UCLA, takeoff from Duchamp, obviously, but it was my take of it. And here we are in Royce Hall premiering Tracers. Ian Kuzno was a modern dancer who's here tonight with Rudy and also built the chairs for me. But it was a nice piece. It was fun to design for dance, to have the curtain go up and there's your set, or your set's being tampered with dancers. You know what I'm saying? It was great for me to have, it was a great different platform to have that box and the lights and I met Rayford Rogers of the LA Chamber Ballet, started doing sets for them. This is the Little Prince. And I designed the sets and costumes. That's the snake. Then we did Orpheus with the LA Chamber Ballet. John Nava assisted me on painting the drop. And this is the drop. Kent Twitchell's here. I'm so proud. I'm a big fan of pimps, and so this is a drop we did on Muslim at El Camino College. They had a paint frame. I was able to paint this, but it was lit blue. This is black and white photograph, but it was really pretty through when the curtain went up.
It's funny during the show. Do you want me to take her? Sure. Thanks so much.
Another piece with the LA Chamber Ballet. A couple of visitors visiting. And again, painted on muslin.
How long did it take you to do that?
Took around 3 days. 3 days, 4 days at most. 4 days. It's acrylic fast. It's not like. No. It's all hand painted. It's all hand painted.
What happened after the performance?
It's been put in the storage somewhere. Yeah, it's gone. I think it's gone now.
Can I ask if you like gridded or
I gridded.
or
Did a grid exactly. Make sure I'm where I'm at here. Film. About this time, let me see where I'm at here, just real quick. Here we go. Another set from Woody Allen scenario for a ballet. And instead of a castle in the background, I put a freeway. And all that's painted, that's a flat. This thing is a flat vegetable. When I was at USF as a student, University of South Florida in Tampa, I took a film class on Chaplin. I thought, oh God, Chaplin, silent films, this is going to be boring. And I fell in love with Chaplin. I fell in love with film. I fell in love with just that single character up there, lonely, which I was, desperately looking for love, which I was. Everything, this is that guy, this is me, I said, this is the guy. And I said, at that time, about this time in my career, I thought, Mark, you should paint figures about yourself. And that's what I started the lecture with. And I started thinking about a man looking in a window. And here's my model. And you see, it's just a paint frame that I used as a window ledge. That's the photo I took of him. And there's the painting, real quickly. So I started coming up with these narratives, like a film, like a still in a film, that something happened before this and something's going to happen after. The fact that he finally looks in and sees this moment, his life changes, right? So I'm trying to pick those one moments that are that powerful in my narrative, in my story, in my head.
What year is this?
86, 87, 88, 89. Well, it's a series. I thought about a man at a dinner party. He's in love with a woman on the other side of inside the living room, but he can't go out and say, "Hello, my name's Charles." So he has to stare at her. He needs a shrink, and to break it, to be able to, but he can't. And I said, again, that was sort of myself back then. I was so kind of melancholy, and here's the photo I used, and there's the painting. They're around 72 inches by 56, around that size. So I would direct this fellow, I'd say, now listen, Jan Monroe, actor. I said, Jan, you're in love with her, okay? And I'd set my camera up with the lights. I said, now Jan, go, walk it. No, put the glasses in your other hand. Put the glass in your hand. Okay, do it again, quick. Stop. Boom, I'd take the photo. Let's try it from the other angle. So it was like me making a movie. It was my way of making a movie in my head that was going to be a painting. And you see the size of the paintings. Another black and white photograph of Jan and I. Dale Howard, another friend of mine, actor. I asked him if he would pose, and This is a fellow who's a modern dancer for a company. I think it's Rudy Perez, perhaps. And I said, God, I like your look. He didn't know me at all. I said, I'd love to paint you. I'd like to photograph you. Oh, really? Great. You know, I said, great. I said, look, I'll pick you up tomorrow. I want you to wear all white. He goes, okay. Gets in my car. We drive up to Griffith Park. We get out. I'm carrying a rope. And the guy's like, what is this? I said, okay, about this time, real quickly, I was living in that loft downtown, lonely, depressed, cut off from the world, back down there, no windows, just gosh. I picked up the phone, I made a connection with a woman on the other end of the line. This is going to be the audio coming up soon when I'm done here. I mean the video. On the other end of the line, and I said, hi, what's your name? You know, she goes, my name's whatever it was, Charlotte. I said, Charlotte. Well, I know what it was. I don't want to. And I said, and we started talking every night. We had this kind of relationship, as you can imagine, and just went on and on. And I said, when can I meet you? Where do you live? She goes, I live in Kokomo, Indiana. I said, oh, Kokomo. I said, I live in L.A. I'm an artist. What do you know? I said, why don't you come visit me? She goes, I'll do it. I said, wow. This is my existence. I'm on the phone with a woman. So sure enough, she's going to show up, and I'm all excited. I paint the floor. I get the flowers out. I'm all excited. I'm going, wow, wow. Well, last minute, Mark, can't make it. You know, something came up at work. I said, oh, gosh, okay, no problem. Went on. This went on for 2 years. I mean, it just went on the phone, on the phone, on the phone. Next time, she's going to come. Again, something happened. I'm like, done. I'm saying, okay, that's it. Next time she shows up, she's going to come. I'm all ready. I got the all ready. I have floors painted again. I'm like, and she calls me up in the middle of the night. I pick up the phone in my little loft, downtown, the loft. Hello? Mark? Yes. Leslie? Leslie? Yes. I go, what's going on? My sister. I said, what? She committed suicide. Now, of course, I'm thinking, well, what can I say with this? You know, I'm thinking she's lying to me, but she's maybe not. You can't. I said, you know, so she came in this whole, it was very dark. Anyway, it was a very traumatic time for me, all this weird stuff. And I was talking to a friend of mine, Harry Hurwitz, who was a filmmaker. I said, Harry, you got to hear, I even taped it on the tape. I had a tape. I was listening to her voice. She said that she was coming. Listen, Mark, I won't come. You know, I said, listen to this. And he's listening to it, and he said, Mark, let's make a movie. I said, make a movie? He says, it's a great movie about a lonely artist living in downtown LA that's in love with this woman on the phone. And he said, let's start, let's cram, let's start, tell me the story. So we made this movie, and it came out titled Flesh Tone. We didn't, I just told the story. I got my money for the story, and they used my paintings. And we have a clip of it for you tonight. Well, just a little short clip.
You don't have to be scared. You know, I'm just like you. We're turned on by the same things. I knew that when I read your ad.
You know, you haven't said anything about yourself.
I'm an artist, painter.
What kind of pictures do you paint?
Pictures of people, lonely people, lost people. You know, people who think about the end of the world. People like you and me.
I want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see you.
Why don't you send me pictures of your paintings and of yourself, and I'll send you pictures of myself.
Anyway, the movie went to video, but it did get shown all over Europe and HBO. It went to cable, never got a theatrical release. But I was honored to say, wow, they're going to make a movie about my little story, you know. So here's one movie that was about my paintings and about my neuroses and about my sadness. It was interesting to have it made. Just real quickly, we'll go to Harlequin kissing a dancer backstage, from Chaplin. Again, it's my love for Chaplin, the fact that the clown finally gets the girl. It's not always a sad ending. This hangs at a restaurant in San Francisco called Bix. Have you ever been up there? Bix has, yeah.
I've seen it.
You've seen it, yeah. It's a great restaurant. You enter from the alley. It's like you're in a speakeasy called BIX, Bix. If ever you're up there, go for a drink. You enjoy North Beach, in North Beach. Gold Street, right.
Mark,
The-
did you ever meet the woman that you had
I sent, you know what? I lost touch with her. And then then the movie came out, and I thought, well, I better hide, you know. And sure enough, I get a note from her. It says, it wasn't very marked. Caught your movie on cable last night. And it was her story. It was all what happened. I never met her. To this day, I've never met her.
No photo?
I got photos, but wrong photos, not her. I found out. And she just recently passed away. Her sister called me and said she passed away. So the dead golfer. I
Moving on.
That's a lot. And
What story is that?
what story is that? I'm a golfer. I love golf, and I just thought, why not? I'm thinking, well, you know, a golfer having an affair with a wife, and the husband comes out and shoots him dead right on the ball. That's my story. In the 90s, I said to myself, I said, Mark, you're into film, you're into making these images about film, why don't you do, storyboards, right, in films, they have these storyboard sketches of the next scene, why don't you do a show of storyboards, paintings, of sequential stuff that happens in the movie? And I thought, a murder at home, a domestic murder. And this woman, this sets it up, this is the first painting. We'll go back, I'm speeding up here. There she is, looking out the window. Why is she looking out? It's very open-ended, but there is a murder in this show, and you'll see the body eventually. A woman. What is she doing? Love letters, burying love letters in the back in the rose garden. And there we see her with the corpse in a carpet rolled up. So again, these are large, this is a very large painting, oils on canvas. Five years ago, I did a show at Modernism. I show with Modernism up in San Francisco, a gallery I've been with for 25 years. I thought, why not show, letters to me. I love handwriting letters. Email, of course, but I love writing a letter, and letters to me are important. Love letters. Dear John letter, in a sense. And I thought, why not do a whole show of people receiving letters? This is collected in Santa Monica at a collection. I just saw recently. I went to their house. Mary Norris, art consultant in the city. Many of us know her. She came to me and said she has a public art project she wanted to get me involved in with LA Center Studios downtown. And she said, Mark, they want you to come down and tell them the idea. Let them meet you. So they have these two sound stages that face downtown LA, right on the 110, right? 110 that goes through. And all of downtown LA, all the buildings could look out and see these two sound stages. And they said they want public art, an artist to put something up. Unfortunately, Kent Twitchell does the painting. These were banners, but I wanted to show them to you. I wish they were paintings, but this is like the first time they blew up things on banners. This is like the very beginning of it. And I convinced them, let's do a narrative of a mystery of a woman that hears a noise in the next apartment, and it's the vase breaking. Why is the vase breaking? Well, you're going to have to find out the next year. This is going to be up for a year, and it was up for a year. The next year, we put two more up. The next year, she is drilling a hole in the wall. And the other one was of a pair of hands opening a window, like escaping the room. So it was this narrative that LA could, like a slow motion movie. Wow. But And the third one was of her looking through the peephole and seeing the feet of a corpse lying in the next room. So this was a big public art project that was fun to do. Speaking of Bix, we'll go back into the Butler. The Butler, let me tell you a little bit about the Butler. The Butler, again, my love for Chaplin. To me, Chaplin, the loneliness of Chaplin, the single figure of Chaplin, I said, I love him so much. Can I invent a figure like Chaplin without doing Chaplin? What about a butler? A butler. A butler's in love with a woman of the house, but he can't have her. That's it. The butler's in love and he can't have her. I said, I'm going to do a painting of a butler who's completely lost with love and unrequited love. Myself posing for the butler in my tux downtown LA in that windowless studio of mine. And then there's the painting.
That was in the movie.
Yeah. Hand's different, the left hand's different, but. So I started on the series of the Butler. A detail. Victor, what's it called? Victor.
Yeah.
What's this?
Insert.
Insert, yes. In movie terms, it's called the insert, where it's a close-up. And I thought, well, this is titled The Butler's in Love. You don't have to see the face, you don't have to see the body. The lipstick on the glass, he saved the glass that she drank out of. And this is large paintings, so they're really large close-ups, blown up. It's my studio in Oakland at the time, looking down. You can see one of the inserts and one of the butlers. So again, these narrative paintings, they're just narrative paintings dealing with a story. Bix restaurant, again, if you get there, there's the Harlequin kissing the dancer, and there's a butler painting. And this is myself posing for the butler for Bix. Shot in downtown LA at my loft with a timer and the painting. This painting has been at Bix for 25 years, and I've sold more paintings from this painting. People coming in, seeing that painting, and going to my gallery in San Francisco. So this is a key painting, which you see the button that you received tonight. David Arquette sends me an email, the actor. Mark, you don't know me, but I've always been a fan of your painting at Bix, and I'd like to make a movie of it. And 12-minute short movie, I have a script. Can we make it? We bring Hollywood people up, we're going to make this movie. I said, you're going to make a movie about my painting? I said, well, I got to see the script first. They send me the script. I read the script. Okay, I like it. I said, let's do it. 12 minutes? That's all. He says, no, it's just going to be quick. So we have a clip of that in a second. And what you're going to see is the very end of the 12 minutes. And what's happened is that it's San Francisco 1890s, they put it in. And there's been a disturbance at a dinner party from the man of the house, is getting drunker and drunker, and he notices his wife and the butler looking at one another, and he's made this big disturbance. It's right after that what we'll see, the butler grabbing her glass, and we can start that now. Oh, this is real quick. Oh, sorry, that's them shooting it. There's the painting on the wall at Bix. And David, 3D. They shot it in 3D. Okay. Oh, there we go. Thomas Jane playing the butler from
Angelique, sweetheart, what is it? Honey, honey, I'm listening.
Nothing. Got it.
Were you on set when they shot it?
Yeah. Mhm. Year 2000 in San Francisco, I went to a circus called Teatro Zinzani. It played in Orange County last Christmas. Maybe you've heard about it, but it's a small dinner party. I went down here, they got some magicians, which I'm into. I like magic, I do a little magic. And I met the star of the show, a Russian magician, and I saw this guy's face. And I said, I gotta paint this guy. Look at this guy. Here we are backstage. I said, could I paint you? He goes, yes, sure, you want to paint me? And my first painting of him, the shadow's laughing, you know, he's very, big painting, very large painting. There I am showing my medal. He always shows his medal, you know, oh, there it is, right, the medal. But, oh, we have a clip, right? Is that right? Sorry.
Oops.
Oh, yeah, there's a clip. Here's a clip of him in the show, just to let you see the power of this guy. I thought you'd enjoy it.
Give us a smile. Just a little one, please. Please? Please? No, he doesn't want to. He's not in the mood. Meine Damen and Herren, please help me. Lächeln, smile, cheese. Smile for the graph. He's going to smile back. Then we'll all be happy. You can do this, Herr Graf. Yes? Yes, yes, it's coming, it's coming, look, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, yes, 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 yes. Look, move the muscles, move the muscles. Move the muscles, move the muscles, move the muscles, yes, 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 and he's smiling. Of all the boys I've known and I've known some, until I first met you I was lonesome. And then you came in sight, dear, my heart grew light, and this whole world seemed new to me. Really swell, I have to admit you deserve expressions that really fit you. So I got my brain hoping to explain all the things you do to me.
Now, the reason I really love this guy performing, he's silent. Chaplin, he was in a tuxedo. The Butler, he does magic? Are you kidding me? I love magic. You know, all these things hit me. Other paintings that I did of all the performers, I was like they called the Toulouse-Lautrec. You're our Toulouse-Lautrec, Mark. I did all these paintings of their performers. And ended up on Magic Magazine, the painting I did of him, Voronin, the great Voronin, on the cover of Magic Magazine, which was a thrill for me since I'm a big enthusiast of magic. He was visiting my studio, clowning around a little bit. And here I am with the paintings in my studio, all of them hanging up. So I just got involved in the circus. I loved it. I went 170 times to the show. They had my table, my chair had a name on it, my name. Here he comes. You know. Telluride Film Festival asked me to do a poster for them, and they, I think Jim Dine's done it, Laurie Anderson's done it. They always pick people, well-known artists to do their posters, and you don't get paid for it, but it's an honor. And this is the one, a guy in love with a woman in the ticket booth, And you always have to see show, that's the priority. They always tell each artist, you must put show in every, so all the artists who have done this has to put show somewhere in their painting, and that's, but it was a lot of fun. They flew Sharon and I out, and we were at Terry Wright Film Festival, and it was great, a great weekend with the image everywhere on t-shirts, hats. It was different for me, you know. Because of my magic, I started doing trompe l'oeil painting, myself doing a trompe l'oeil of an old golf cart, just to show you. I had a show at Modernism, a trompe l'oeil, 2 shows like this, but like 24 pieces each. That's the other wall. This says, if you can't see, but it says, you will have a party. So it's all fake wood, you know, the fake wood, the wood's painted. I learned as a scenic artist when I had to go to those sound stages. That's that famous Paris postcard of the kissing couple in a cafe. Man Ray. No. So I just love these little vignette paintings of objects, and this is me painting the postcard, but actually it's all painted. So everything's painted. The postcard's painted, the tape, the sort of the process. And again, the Bix painting, I did a chalkboard with a piece of, yeah, the chalk itself is a piece of wood dowel, painted white and sanded, and just 3D, of course. So, but a chalkboard, all erased. Some of my recent work, getting involved with cell phone and the light. An actress in a soundstage, dressed in the 50s, looking at a cell phone, and a Cirque du Soleil woman in the back, and so all these people I know. This is a wonderful performer from Vegas. So again, posing them, lighting them, having them act, telling them my scenario, having them stop, photographing them, and doing the painting. Real quickly, just thought you'd like to see my house in Oakland. As I told you, I worked at Gemini, all the Gemini prints, Liechtenstein, Hockneys, Rauschenberg over to the left. This is just a regular condominium I bought, townhouse of 3 floors, white walls, just clean, cold, but I turned it into sort of a magic theater, kind of. All the walls are trompe l'oeil painted wood.
Where is this?
Oakland. Live in Oakland.
You're not depressed anymore.
No, I'm in love. I finally found the right woman. Winding down here. I play jazz. I didn't know if I told you, but I have a jazz trio. So I'm a drummer, and we play all around San Francisco. Been playing jazz for the last 15 years up in the Bay Area. Comes to our show that opens November 2nd. I'm having a show at Laura Schlesinger. It's titled Hollywood Uncovered, and it's the Hollywood sign, letter by letter. This is just one of them. But I like the idea that somebody can own the L, someone can own the W. And it's all spread around the United States. And so these are paintings. I did this theme 20 years ago at Modernism, really big paintings, but I wanted to revisit it and make them smaller. They're all different. They're not like anything. I didn't copy any of the old work. I came up with new images. And I used to, when I lived on Beechwood, when I first moved here printing for Johns and Hockney, I was so lonely. I was down in my little Beechwood apartment, and I'd walk up to the sign and climb up there by myself and sit there by myself in the 100 yards and the sound. You know, I just sit there, look down, I'd see the city buzzing in the freeways, everyone going to work, and I'd be there with the sign. It meant so much, you know. So I had this relationship with the sign, and the last slide I have to show you is the star of the show at Laura Schlesinger. It's a box. And the only thing I'll say is that you'll have to come to the show and understand the relationship. What this box that's been dug up somewhere, you'll find out, involves the Hollywood sign in our show, and I hope that you come to the show. And I thank you for coming tonight. I do have one thing to show. Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question? Mike?
Sure, sure.
I'm a filmmaker, so I'm like, I know your painting so well, you know, in Bix. I can't even
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you how many, back in the 90s, I used to stare at these paintings. It's mind-boggling that it's come full circle. As a filmmaker, what was it like for you to have this inanimate object on the wall have so much energy that somebody took this inanimate object and made a motion picture out of it? Well, I mean, I'm like...
No, it was exciting for me. I was on top of the staircase looking down at all this activity, the amount of people to make a 12-minute movie. I mean, it was like trucks and the grips and the what. And I was actually very proud. I was thinking, man, I did a painting on canvas and it caused this. It was very exciting, yeah. Yeah.
The last frame of that film, was that your painting or did you do another painting?
No, that's the painting on the wall at Bix.
So he matched the
Yeah, he matched it. He matched the pose. Wow. Exactly, right.
That was amazing.
I'd like to show you one last thing, and this is for our host, Kim. Kim, where are you? Kim, I made this out of a napkin off your table. You'd be right there. I'll bring it over to you in 1 second. But Kim, this little napkin Darren?
Get back to one.
Oh, let me try this again. Where's the magician I met? He's probably going, what the heck's going on? Darling, can you come up here for a second? Sure. This gives you an opportunity to meet my sweetheart, Sharon. Yay, Sharon Dean. Just like this for a minute, stand against. Yeah. Kim, let's try this again, just for you. Thanks for coming. Anybody have any questions? I'm happy for quick questions, and then we'll. Thank you. Yeah.